Good afternoon, one and all. It is said that we are one with all. We are all with one. There has been a lot of play on words that we've seen in the last couple of years, maybe nearly 3 years. There's been a lot of touting about particular groups that apparently sit above the average person, and there's a certain word used to describe those people. You know, the thing that I have noticed a lot is the use of the word awake and also aware. In the spiritual communities, so-called spiritual communities, there are many who have jumped on the bandwagon to talk about awake, aware, consciousness, and used the experiences, if you like, or the things that have been happening around the world in the last few years as an excuse to rely on the words awake, aware, consciousness, and to sell them really hard to the masses. There's also been another word, asleep, and the want to waken the asleep. Well, the disturbance that has been in the world over the last 2.5, nearly 3 years, has certainly changed our world as we knew it. But I'm going to say that it's actually been something that was very much needed. And it's been needed in the world for a long time. So obviously it was decided that now was the time to bring these changes, to bring a greater sense, the meaning of humanity, to bring greater awareness of what it is to be in the world of humanity. Might sound strange, say, in the world of humanity, but that's what this lived experience is meant to be. It's meant to be about the experience of the humanness, with all of its great points and all of its not so great points. During this past time, I have seen some very interesting sides of humanity and of those that I'm going to call people. I have seen behaviours that we could say are of old, and therefore say that not a lot has changed. In this, of course, is balance. There's the good, the not so good, and what we might call the bad in among all of it. You know, throughout the history of mankind, there has always been wrongdoing. There has always been those with and those without. There has always been marginalised people. There have always been people who have been segregated, even pushed out of society per se. So what we've been seeing in this last time frame really isn't anything new. There's nothing new. It just has a different face. In this last 2.5 years, I have done what I did for a long time as a younger person, and that was stand up for the underdog, stand up for those who didn't have the confidence to speak out for themselves, stand up for what was right, stand up against injustice. That is nothing new for me, for the way that I've lived my life always. What is new is that I'd stepped away from doing that after realising that while I'm standing up for the underdog, and I'm speaking out for those who claim not to be able to speak out, I'm on my own. What's been different in this journey is that I have been able to stand with others who do stand for truth, for integrity, for justice, for righteousness. And that's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, the word asleep and the word awake. The big call has been for people to wake up to what's in front of you, to see that everything has been hidden in clear sight, or plain sight, as we might say. And there are a lot of people who have jumped on that bandwagon and gone, wow, I'm awake now. I see what's going on. I've observed this, watched those behaviours, and then I've watched those very same awake people rush back to places that had no qualms in shutting them out, no qualms in closing the doors to them. But as soon as those doors were open, these awake, aware people rushed back on in. Makes me sit back and go, really? You're awake? Interesting. Compassion. Yes, compassion is a fundamental need. It's a fundamental characteristic of the human being. And it's most certainly a vital one. Forgiveness. Forgiveness and gratitude, the two greatest characteristics that we can have to be able to do what's called evolve, to have a greater awareness of who we really are. So when it comes to everything that's taken place and we look at how do we go with compassion, how do we go with, this evolving thing and forgiveness? Well, the trick is that with forgiveness, it's not about forgiving and then standing up to be knocked down again. Forgiveness is being able to see that someone is at a different level, if you like, of awareness, that they sit differently in their heart, and you forgive them and you forgive yourself. You forgive yourself for beating yourself up and for being judgmental on yourself as well as the other party. But it doesn't mean that you allow yourself to be treated that way again and again and again. That's the difference. So something that occurred on Sunday for me has brought me to realise that those who use the word awake, we best find a different word. You see, they claim to be awake to what the government are doing, to what is going on, what's been going on in this last while. What I saw on Sunday at a meeting in Perth showed me that those very same people are a long way from being awake in the true sense of the word, which means being awake to their truth of who they really are, awake to what it means to be aligned to the divine and the divinity within themselves, awake to see what is hidden in clear sight. I could say that what the event that I was at on Saturday brought to me was a recognition of the vulnerability I carry of the past. Not my past, but my ancestral past. You see, what took place placed me in a sense of feeling placed me in a place of vulnerability, meaning not feeling safe, not feeling that I could trust. I had some people very close by to me where I was sitting who I could most definitely, well, yes, I could most definitely trust. And at the end of the day, feel safe with. But overall, in the massive numbers, not feel safe. And what I realised in this setting was there is still mass injustice. There are still the masses who sit in a place of believing in segregation, believing in a difference between colour and non-colour, and most of all, believing in the words spoken by someone who supposedly sits in a place of power because they are a politician. Now, the thing that stunned me is that it is the politicians who have created the illusion and who have instigated all of the things that have taken place in this last almost 3 years. And here we have this collective of people willing to believe another politician, as that politician created a room filled with division, creating or inciting division. And what it brought about for me was an incredible sense of vulnerability to my past. It crushed my heart. It raised emotions in me like a tsunami. And it's really sat me back. With all the work that I do around healing and alignment with divine, this recent experience has really brought me to a place of deeper awareness, deeper knowing, and a sad place to find that awake is not awake. You see, when you're awake and you are aware, it means that you are in a higher level of consciousness, that you are closer than ever to the being that you truly are. And to be closer to the being that you truly are means that you can see what is hidden in plain sight, means that you can see what is going on. And yet, the majority, absolute overwhelming majority of people in that setting were unable to see that they were being played. They were being played yet again and used as an instrument of creating disturbance, used as an instrument for creating division. As they applauded loudly, cheered at what was being said. Now that I've had time to sit with what that brought to me and the crushing feeling that it brought to my heart, and I'm able to sit with everything that I teach and that I stand for, I see what it really was about. And what can I heal? It is to heal the injustice of my ancestors, what they experienced, which carries through our bloodlines. Not only my ancestors, but all who are marginalised in the world. Righteousness is a word that I was speaking with another extremely aware, awake, truly sense of aware, awake person today. Beautiful being. Righteousness is something we both stand for. And righteousness is about morally right, virtue, goodness, justice, my favourite word, justice, integrity, morality, all of the things that I carry across my back, across my front, throughout my whole being. And things that I will always stand up for that really aren't. Oh, someone, hello. Kim Jade. Sorry, Kim, it's showing up really small. I hope that's you, lovely. Standing up for what really matters, because it's these things that make a difference in the world. So the vulnerability that I felt in this particular setting and the intense distress that it brought to me is something that was extremely uncomfortable, and as I said, crushed my heart. My physical heart was in pain. For the last 2.5 years, I've been a consistent warrior of truth, and I've stood up for those who believe themselves to be awake. And it's amazing to then come out the other side and find that awake is not awake. It is so very heartbreaking to see that the injustice of intolerance, or the injustice and the intolerance is alive and well, and yet these people call themselves awake. To see that they are so easily played by a politician, the very same people who have led them astray in the last 2.5 years because they have been so unawake. To have this experience on Sunday has been a massive shift for me and an up-leveling for me, if you like. One thing that I will always stand for is righteousness. The other is justice. I will always stand against injustice. And now that I have a clearer view of those who believe themselves to be awake, it brings about a new energy, a new knowing. My service to humanity, my service to those who sit in a place of integrity and those who are aligned to whom I call God, or to a higher being, if you like, and those who are truly aligned and know what it is to be aligned to themselves. My work there will never cease, and it will always be from a place of deep compassion, love, harmony, and joy. And what I hope for now, after the experience that I had on Sunday, is to be able to bring those people who are still very much asleep, those people who believe in what is put in front of them by a politician, a high-ranking CEO, you know, people of the corporations. Hope to be able to bring them to a place of seeing what is in front of them. So my YouTube channel, Gwenda Smith, Prophet of Truth, is going to be very consistent with my commitment to humanity and to bringing humanity to a far greater truth of what it is to be awake and what it is to be aware and therefore conscious. The experience on Sunday was nothing short of disturbingly sad, nothing short of heartbreaking. I was dismayed, astounded, and for 2 days really lost for the words to express, because the pain in my heart was just too strong. The overload of emotion, like a tsunami, was too strong. And now here we are, Tuesday, and I have the insights, I have the awareness of all that I experienced on Sunday. And now I can heal that. Now I can step forward with greater ease. It's very hard to see. Oh, it's Bree. Hello, Bee. Lovely to have you on. Thank you, sweetheart. Righteousness, integrity, morality, for me, just not something that you compromise on. They are a way of being, a way of living. Standing for injustice, for me, is a must. And that's why I've been so very vocal in the last 2.5, nearly 3 years, for those who don't have that confidence to stand up. And a fight for what is right, a fight for what is just. And that I will continue. My service to humanity will continue with those things at the forefront. And for those who created the massive, incredible energy of separatism, division on Sunday, I have much compassion, and in a lot of ways I feel sorry for them. I hope that they are able to really understand the word awake and to awaken to what it is that is right in front of them. I hope that they will be able to do that sooner than later. So, welcome to the Prophet of Truth channel. I'll look forward to bringing forward more awareness on this channel, and I'll also be looking forward to bringing things that are in clear sight to this channel. I would really love you to subscribe and also to share, because my dedication to humanity is my life's work. My dedication to paving the way, being a way maker. My son told me way back, 2015, maybe before that even, when I said to him, oh, I'm a way shower, and he said, no, Mum, you're not, you're a way maker. So making the way for people for human beings to know their true selves, to reach that inner power that they have within, to know what it is to be able to self-direct, to heal, to be self-observing, to do what's called evolving, when really all the time that's about coming home to who you are rather than who you've been constructed to believe, and also to who you've been blinded to believe. There's so many words. So to Bea and Kim, thank you for popping in on this impromptu this afternoon. It's lovely to have you here. And everyone else who watches, thank you. And thank you for the shares and the subscribing. I'm going to look forward to continuing my work for humanity. So I'll say bye-bye for now.